The boxing calendar rarely waits long for its first defining moment. On January 31st, beneath the lights of Madison Square Garden, the year's opening blockbuster takes center stage. A fight built not on obligation, but on contrast, risk and reputation. At its center is Teofimo Lopez, the WBO and Ring Magazine super lightweight champion, a fighter defined by extremes, brilliance and volatility, and an ability to rise when expectation is highest. Opposite him stands Shakur Stevenson, a three-division world champion, a master technician widely regarded as the finest defensive fighter of his generation.
He's been dominant this evening.
Where others rely on force, Stevenson relies on control, distance, timing, and elite ring IQ.
And an left hand stuns Yoshino in round 2.
This is more than a title defense. It's a collision of philosophies, dynamism versus precision, power versus evasion.
Combination sends Yoshino down for the second time in the fight.
As Madison Square Garden sets the stage, the first major act of the boxing year hinges on one question: who will leave their mark first? Welcome to the Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson fight countdown.
So I'm excited. I think the fight fans and everyone around the world of boxing should tune in on this. Even if you're not, just in combat alone. I think this is a great moment right now.
Teofimo Lopez enters this fight as the WBO and Ring Magazine super lightweight champion, widely regarded as the best at 140 pounds. And at 28 years of age, he's preparing to make the fourth defense of the titles he took from Josh Taylor in 2023.
My job is to show the world that can't nobody beat me. And I make it look pretty.
Before moving up a division, Lopez rose rapidly at lightweight, separating himself with speed, sharp technique, and explosive power. After demolishing Richard Comey to win his first world title, he bypassed safer options and chased the toughest challenge available, a showdown with pound-for-pound great Vasily Lomachenko.
Considered by many as the pound-for-pound king.
At just 23 years old and only in his 16th professional fight, Lopez entered as a heavy underdog against a seasoned champion widely viewed to be in his prime.
Teofimo Lopez outboxing Vasily Lomachenko early.
But over 12 rounds, he neutralized Lomachenko to unify the IBF, WBO, and WBA titles.
The takeover! Teofimo!
While the official WBC belt was unavailable to deny Lopez his official undisputed status, he did claim the Ring Magazine title to be universally recognized as the lightweight division's true #1.
This belt has been in the game since 1922. Yes, 1922.
That peak, however, was followed by turbulence. A chaotic first title defense, later linked to a serious health issue, ended in a narrow split decision loss to George Kambosos Jr., costing Lopez all of his belts.
And the new IBF WBO!
After nearly a year out of the ring and a move up to super lightweight, Lopez returned with a stoppage win over Pedro Camper, before then struggling through a 12-round decision against Sandor Martin.
He didn't want to commit. He was just staying off his back foot and just running around the whole time. Listen, but it is what it is.
This performance raised questions about his consistency and long-term ceiling. But those doubts set the stage for another defining moment. Against Josh Taylor, the former undisputed champion and reigning WBO and Ring Magazine title holder, Lopez again entered as the underdog.
Big shots to close out round 4.
Yet over 12 rounds, he delivered a disciplined, commanding performance, reclaiming elite status to become a two-division Ring Magazine champion and re-establishing himself among America's latest stars. However, among this new wave of US talent, there remained one notable omission. Arguably the most technically complete fighter of them all.
Walking forward with that high guard, really unable to.
While others lit up the lightweight division, Shakur Stevenson was refining his craft in the lower weight classes. Beginning at featherweight, he built his reputation on elite ring IQ, airtight defense, and precise counterpunching.
And he goes down here.
A master southpaw, his brilliance lay in subtlety. Less explosive, but deeply respected by purists.
He's never tried to hold at no point.
Right hand into the body and down he goes for a knee again.
Now, as he prepares to face Teofimo Lopez, the reigning WBC lightweight champion moves up in weight with history in sight, aiming to become a rare four-divisional world champion.
That four-weight world champion, it means everything to me. That's me separating myself. None of them can say that they are a four-weight world champion.
From the moment Stevenson turned professional in 2017 at just 19 years old, his potential was clear. Promoters moved quickly and Stevenson delivered. It took just 13 fights at featherweight to win his first world title. He soon moved up to super feather, where he dismantled Jamel Herring to become a two-division champion.
And it is over. The referee has jumped in, stopped the fight.
That momentum then carried into a unification bout with long-term rival Oscar Valdez, a career-defining performance that crowned Stevenson the WBO, WBC and Ring Magazine champion at 130 pounds. The lightweight division was the latest step. A sixth-round stoppage of Shuichiro Yoshino was followed by victory over Edwin de los Santos for the vacant WBC title, establishing Stevenson among the division's elite. Across these three weight classes, he earned a reputation as a defensive specialist. But with it came the occasional criticism for his preference for control over confrontation.
Ever since he turned pro, I mean, he always talked about distance, being a master of the distance and range.
But his most recent outing reframed that narrative. Against the undefeated William Zepeda, a physically imposing lightweight with relentless pressure and record-setting punch output, Stevenson stood his ground.
Both of those guys did well. We talk about two undefeated world champions, bro. We're going to get this type of fight.
Instead of retreating, he met aggression with precision, stabbing jabs to the body, sharp uppercuts, and fluid combinations that systematically dismantled the Mexican challenger.
Shakur, the precision, and they're landing at a high rate. Good combination, four-punch combination.
The entertaining 12-round performance delivered a third successful WBC title defense, reinforcing a belief now widely held that Shakur Stevenson is not only the finest technician of his era, but to many, the best lightweight in the world.
The fighting pride of Newark, New Jersey, and still.
Given his technical pedigree, it's no surprise then, as fight night approaches, bookmakers have installed Stevenson as a slight favorite.
Teo is probably the biggest opponent I fought, but I don't feel like size win fights.
His composed performance against William Zepeda, blending control with assertiveness, reinforced his reputation for consistency at world level. For many, that reliability makes Stevenson the safer pick against Teofimo Lopez, a champion of immense talent, but one whose form has often proven unpredictable.
They've been jawing all week. Good little counter left from Kambosos.
That inconsistency has dulled some of the shine around the takeover. Yet victories over Vasily Lomachenko and Josh Taylor remain clear reminders of Lopez's ceiling.
He jumped right into that shot, just picked it right off with the left hand.
When fully focused, few fighters in the sport can match his explosiveness. And unlike anyone Stevenson has ever faced, Lopez represents a far more dangerous offensive threat. Fast, calculated, and capable of changing a fight in an instant. But with two elite technicians in the ring, this is unlikely to become a chaotic shootout. Instead, it'll be decided by small adjustments and narrow margins. Despite being the naturally bigger and more powerful man, Lopez is not a reckless pressure fighter.
Right hand landed by Lopez, another right.
His athleticism is best expressed in sharp bursts. Single, explosive shots delivered with precise timing.
For a second, there it is, and then he just unleashes the punch.
Historically, that power has been most effective against aggressive opponents. Using a Philly shell defense, Lopez invites attacks and then punishes overcommitment with clean counters. Against Stevenson, however, that approach will be tested.
Counter shot there.
Lopez will be required to close the distance against a fighter who thrives just outside of range.
That is because that fighter right there who just landed that left hand, Shakur Stevenson.
Shakur's educated lead hand controls the distance, dictating both his offense and defense. And even when exchanges occur up close, Stevenson remains composed, slipping shots, countering swiftly, and varying his combinations on the inside.
Well, there's a tremendous uppercut by Shakur Stevenson.
In a matchup defined by intelligence rather than impulse, every feint, adjustment, and maneuver could prove decisive.
Oh, nice sneak. That was sneaky.
With two champions ruling their separate weight classes and little public pressure for them to face each other, a simple question emerges: why this fight is even happening?
I just went up to 140. I said, let me get the Ring Magazine champion. Let's fight that guy. Let's fight the guy that's the guy.
Shakur Stevenson, already a 3-division champion, could have remained at lightweight and pursued safer, more conventional options. And Teofimo Lopez had a clear route of his own, unifying at super lightweight before an eventual move to 147, where money and familiar rivalries awaited.
Shakur is stepping up because he got nobody else to go after. He's stepping up to try to prove a point.
For Stevenson, the answer begins with history. A 4th divisional world title would place him in rare company, and in Lopez, he sees the most meaningful champion available.
I feel like no fighter at 135 can beat me. I made this fight happen because I know Teo is one of the guys at 140. Big name in the sport, he got a big resume, big accomplishments.
The deeper motivation is legacy. As for years, Stevenson has existed just outside superstardom, respected but avoided, and unable to draw elite opponents. This fight, however, is his proving ground. A chance to show that while others commanded attention, he quietly mastered the craft and always belonged at the top.
People say I perform best when people underestimate me. Although partially it could be true, I think that I just always had it in me.
Lopez's motivation is less straightforward. His career has never followed a conventional path, and his greatest performances have often come against aggressive opponents, willing to step into his timing and counters. Against Stevenson, however, there's no such recklessness to exploit. And perhaps that's the appeal. Against an equal, a technician, a strategist, a defensive specialist, Lopez may be seeking something more personal. Proof that his brilliance is complete, not conditional. That he can break down an elite thinker, not just punish mistakes. And that by overcoming one of the sport's true pound-for-pound talents, he belongs once again in boxing's highest conversations.
I'm going to show everyone that his defense is not as immaculable like they say it is. That's my job. My job is to show the true flaws that they can't see, that the world cannot see.
This is not an encounter driven by obligation or necessity. It's a collision of ambition and self-belief. Two champions stepping away from the safest paths available.
Hand from Shakur Stevenson as he lands a jab and a good left hand.
One chasing recognition long withheld, the other chasing validation long debated.
Oh! He tags Taylor again. The crowd is on their feet.
When the bell rings, it won't simply decide a winner over 12 rounds. It will answer a far bigger question. Whose vision of greatness was right all along?